Tonight, on Your Real World, are we being kept in the dark about our true origins? Would we even accept the truth if it was presented to us with evidence? Your Real World examines the connection between God, man, and extraterrestrials. Where did we come from? Who is God? Do aliens actually exist? These type of questions have plagued mankind for centuries, and for centuries we've been lied to by government organizations and religious groups. Remember when you believed in Santa Claus? How wonderful and mystical the world was then. We accepted the fact that this magical being somehow knew if we were being naughty or nice, and could transport himself around the world in one night, and deliver presents to all the boys and girls via the chimney. In the same way, governments and religious groups have been doing the same thing to us for centuries. But mankind in the 21st century has slowly been waking up to the fact that we have been lied to, and have realized that believing in a bearded man sitting on a cloud above watching over us is about as ridiculous as believing in Santa Claus.
Because I gotta tell you the truth, folks. I gotta tell you the truth. When it comes to bullshit, big time, major league bullshit, you have to stand in awe. In awe of the all-time champion of false promises and exaggerated claims, religion. No contest. No contest. Religion easily has the greatest bullshit story ever told. Think about it. Religion has actually convinced people that there's an invisible man living in the sky who watches everything you do every minute of every day. And the invisible man has a special list of 10 things he does not want you to do. And if you do any of these 10 things, he has a special place full of fire and smoke and burning and torture and anguish where he will send you to live and suffer and burn and choke and scream and cry forever and ever till the end of time. But he loves you.
And yet, our belief system is still being corrupted today by government and the media. Any mention of extraterrestrial life is denied by government agencies and ridiculed by the media. Take the UFO incident that occurred over the White House in Washington, D.C. in 1952. This was vehemently denied by the U.S. military to be anything outer-worldly and was quickly swept under the rug. As a result, people don't know what to believe anymore, and are content to accept the truth as it's being displayed on television through so-called news reports. Fortunately, since the inception of YouTube in 2005, people have found an alternate way of getting their message across out to the general public without having to rely on the media moguls who only report on the stories they're allowed to cover. Because of this, top military personnel such as Navy intelligence officer William Cooper, Major John Lear, whose father founded the Learjet Corporation, Air Force officer William English, and U.S. government geologist and structural engineer Phil Schneider have not only come forward to tell their story, but have managed to broadcast it on YouTube. The only question now is, will you believe it?
Groom Lake is where the infamous Area 51, S4, S2, a CIA base. It was originally a bombing range, a nuclear test site. It was later become the most secret base in the United States. It employs over 18,000 workers who work in shifts of 12 hours at a whack. Most of them work in the cover of darkness, like us. We built 9 underground military bases there, each with an average capacity capable of basically a city underground, roughly 4¼ cubic miles hollowed out underground. I carried a level 1 security clearance, the Rhyolite 38 factor. There are very few of us There's nobody except myself, to my knowledge, talking like this. Nobody. I'm breaking the law. I'm breaking world as well as federal law, coming out and even talking about this to a group of people. I love my country more than I love my life. 2 weeks ago, I was shot in the shoulder. Blunt about it. The government that is now instilled in ruling over us are ruling as we're serfs and they're the kings and queens. Now, that's a feudal system. That isn't even a democracy. We are now being ruled by an autocracy and a technocracy. In other words, technical knowledge as rules as king. Now, I was involved in something very controversial, almost totally unbelievable to most of you, that during the unbelievable part, I was involved in building another base inside of Dulce, New Mexico, which is Los Alamos Laboratory. It's a biological laboratory. Drilling machines that were used were at the rate of 2 miles a day. It was fairly rapid. The equipment kept coming up broken. So we wanted to go down and we wanted to send somebody down there, a human observer, or human observers in this case, to find out what was going on. Well, to our total surprise, first of all, the government knew all about it. They didn't tell anybody. When I saw Green Beret and Black Beret people encamped inside of our geologist camp, I knew something was up. The gig was up. First of all, I knew all about the alien agenda. I'll explain that in a few minutes. The large alien grays had been encamped there for as best as believed possible about 400 or 500 years. Had been one of their internal bases. And we'd drilled holes right on top of it. All the stinking air, all the black sooty air came right out as soon as the first hole was sunk, and all this soot came up, and well, that's when all the hell broke loose, really, all started. In this process, I was lowered down the basket of one of these holes, and about from me to this elderly woman here in the front was sitting a 7-foot-tall alien gray. The stench was worse than the worst garbage can you can imagine. The the entity was absolutely horrible. I didn't waste any time. I reached for my pistol. At that time, it was an Walther PPK pistol with a 9-shot clip. This was in late August of 1979. Now, you got a regular suit of clothes. You got a regular clothes on, plus you're in almost like a spacesuit environment, and you're reaching for a gun. It's not the easiest thing to do, and then to pop a clip in it and start shooting. And I killed 2 of them. Yes, they're mortal, and they do die.
This story of underground military bases is also confirmed by Major John Lear. So you have to ask yourself, are these people crazy? Why would they be talking about things that seem so incredible and out of this world that it would be hard for the average person to come to terms with? David Icke is another prime example of a person who came from a respected profession in journalism and who for the last 22 years has been ranting about government cover-ups and the alien presence on Earth. Has he lost his mind? Why would somebody throw away their career to go on and on about government cover-ups and an alien presence on Earth unless there was some truth to it? Why devote 22 years of your life to something if you're absolutely crazy? You gotta think about these things. More than one person is speaking up about it. And if you think what all these people are saying is too incredible and hard to believe, then check out the story of Rael. He used to be known as French journalist Claude Vorilhon, but he's now known as Rael, who went on to form the Raelian movement. I don't know if you've heard of that. He claimed to have an encounter with an extraterrestrial in France back in the mid-70s, who told him about the true origins of man and why the aliens have, up to now, not revealed themselves to us.
Where do you come from?
From very far away, and I have come to talk to you, Claude Vorilhon.
They talked. Claude was invited into the craft, and over the next 6 consecutive days, the extraterrestrial dictated a series of messages which are both clear and revolutionary. This is what the extraterrestrial said.
We created humanity. You mistook us for gods. We were the ones who started all the religions on Earth. And now that humanity is capable of understanding this, we would like you to build an embassy where we can land officially in front of everyone. A long time ago on our planet, we had reached a stage similar to the one you are in now. Our scientists were beginning to design life through the synthesis of DNA. The whole of our society watched with fascination as they created more and more sophisticated organisms, until one day they made a mistake. From then on, public opinion turned against these scientists, and they were forced to take their experiments elsewhere. They finally found a planet suitable for the creation of life. It was your Earth, and at the time had no life on it at all. It was completely covered with water and clouds.
With so much talk about aliens and the existence of aliens, you have to ask yourself, what the heck is going on here? Are these alien beings our creators? Does that make them gods? Are there good aliens who want to help us and bad aliens who want to hurt or destroy us? Why is the government not talking about it? Maybe it's because they struck a deal with the aliens years ago that went horribly wrong and now they don't know what to do about it? When will we ever know the truth? And what I find the most interesting about this story is the fact that a lot of people, even you people right now watching this, are going to have a hard time believing any of it. And yet, nobody seemed to have any problem for years and years and years believing in that invisible man in the sky. Or that there was a man who existed centuries ago who could walk on water, heal the sick, and virtually bring himself back to life after being crucified. No problems believing that without a shred of evidence. Must have been good marketing. But yet today, with all the evidence available, with all the people coming forward, we're still skeptical. We still want to see more. We still want more proof. We can't accept that there may be some truth to what people are saying and to what people are seeing. And if there's any truth to these underground military bases that are supposedly being inhabited by aliens, then could they have been manipulating the government for years in order to bring about this new world order? Are we less likely to see an alien invasion from the sky, and more likely to see the slow and eventual conquest of the Earth unfold before our very eyes? Well, all I can suggest to you is that you do your own research, and I mean really, really research this. Draw your own conclusions, and then maybe, just maybe, you can open your eyes and your mind to what has been happening and what continues to happen in your real world. Good night.